My research is set in the area of law. I'm looking at war. And if you think of war, the war on terror, for example, you'll soon realize that war isn't fought only with the state's armed forces, but with private companies that carry out military operations on behalf of the state. They're called private military and security companies, and they provide everything from postal services, food deliveries, to engaging in hostilities. And this may seem like a new thing, but private hire has been a part of war throughout history. The law, however, is failing to reflect how much of a presence these companies have in war. International law is struggling to regulate them, and issues are arising at basic stages such as setting the legal definition of private military and security companies. Meanwhile, private military and security companies are increasingly present in practice due to the cost benefit of hiring them, as well as the high skill set of their employees. But are these the only things that make them attractive to states? Or is it true the states can avoid responsibility for military operations by hiring private companies? This is what I'm asking in my research. I'm looking past the private company and I'm asking, what is motivating the state to outsource something as inherently governmental as war to the private sector? Now, I'm looking at international law, and I'm also looking at the UK and the US as examples of national law, so that I'm able to make suggestions for how international law is to be improved so the state responsibility will be a thing even when military missions are outsourced to the private sector. With the way things are now, with the lack of clarity on state responsibility, it's plausible to suspect that the law will be circumvented. And in this area of law, we need to know if there's a way to avoid the law, it will be figured out. So if we want the law to achieve its purpose, which is to achieve justice, more research has to be made in this area. And this has to be done now, because war is changing. War is no longer tied to boots on the ground. We have new weapon systems using artificial intelligence, we have unmanned vehicles, hybrid warfare, cybercrime, and all these areas of law are impacted by the lack of clarity on how state responsibility is attributed when missions are outsourced to the private sector. Now, to end with a quote from The Art of War, which is commonly used in discussions on business and war, and it reflects the essence of this research, which is to go against set ways to achieve justice. There are roads which must not be followed, armies which must not be attacked, towns which must not be besieged, positions which must not be contested, and commands of the sovereign which must not be obeyed. Thank you.